Everybody talks about peace. Tony Blair talks about peace. George Bush talks about peace. We're fighting for peace. We're blowing for peace. We're doing this for peace. We want peace. Everyone wants peace. That Islam is the only way to establish true peace.
Brother Abdul Raheem Green, he doesn't need any introduction. When he came here in 1996, he was well received and he's quite popular here. Anyway, let me go through for the benefit of those who are new. Brother Abdul Raheem Green, formerly Anthony Green, embraced Islam in 1988. And he since then has been a very active da'i in the UK, and he gives a lot of lectures in the Hyde Park, London. Now I request Brother Abdul Raheem Green to deliver his lecture.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له وما يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وبعد خير الحديث كتاب الله وخير الحدي حدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. We begin by praising Allah. We praise Him, we seek His help, and we ask for His forgiveness. And we seek refuge with Allah from the evil of ourselves and from the evil consequence of our evil actions. Whomsoever Allah guides, there is none to misguide, and whomsoever Allah leaves to go astray, there is none to guide. And I testify and bear witness that Allah alone is worthy of worship, and that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam is the servant of Allah and His messenger. After that, the best speech is the book of Allah, and the best way, the best guidance is the guidance of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And the worst of all the affairs are those matters that have been newly introduced into the religion, and every matter that is newly introduced into the religion of Islam is an innovation, and all of those religious innovations are misguidance. And all misguidance is going astray, and all going astray is in the fire. My brothers and sisters in Islam, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy upon you. Today there is going to be one dominant theme, and the theme, as you can see, is peace. Peace to humanity. Peace, vision of Islam. Really, peace. Why do we want peace? Why? What's so good about peace? Everybody talks about peace. Tony Blair talks about peace. George Bush talks about peace. We're fighting for peace. We're blowing for peace. We're doing this for peace. We want peace. Everyone wants peace. You know, you don't have to question for a minute that peace is a good thing, because we know that that's what we want. And if your religion's any good, your religion is going to preach peace and teach peace. Yeah? Okay. Why do human beings want peace? Why? Tell me. Can anyone, I want you to tell me personally why you want peace. Why do you want peace and not war? Why do you want peace and not something other than peace? So can you give me a few ideas? Help me along. What's so good about peace? I'm asking you this. I tell you something amazing. My dad, he went to Egypt. In fact, my dad lived in Egypt for 10 years. And he was a merchant banker there. And recently he went back to make a visit to a school that he opened there, and he gave a lecture there to young Egyptian boys. And the amazing thing he gave a lecture about, I couldn't figure this out exactly what my dad was going on about. He gave a lecture not about peace but about war. And in fact he talked about how much fun war was. And yes, he said, you're a young man and you will enjoy fighting. My father fought in the Second World War and he loved it. And my dad, believe me, is not a bad man. If you meet my dad, you will say, how come he's not Muslim? He's such a nice guy. So many people said that. But seriously, some people actually enjoy fighting. They love it. So tell me, please, what is so good about peace? Why do we want peace? Can anyone tell me?
To live in harmony.
To live in harmony. Why do you want to live in harmony? Why? You know the guy, he's annoying you. Poof, why don't you just bash him up? Why you want to live in harmony? What for? Why don't you just fight all day? I mean, I look at my kids, Abdullah and Bilal, all they do is fight, 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 fight. They seem to enjoy it. I don't enjoy it. I know why I want peace. Why do you want peace? Seriously. I took some notes. I've got some ideas myself why I think people want peace. But I want to hear from you. Huh? Okay, that's a good start. We need peace to live. Yeah, we need peace to live. Why? What's the opposite of peace? Peace means war. Yes? And when there is war, you feel insecure. You feel that any minute some bomb may blow up your house. You can't get the food you like. You can't do your job. Nothing feels happy. You feel disturbed. You feel your life is going to be lost. You feel your children are in danger. You feel your family is in danger. You don't know what's happening to your auntie and your uncle and mummy and daddy and wherever they are, because the whole world is in confusion. And people don't like that. They don't like confusion. They don't like this disruption. They don't like this mad state of affairs. Mostly, generally, human beings like to, as he said, live. Live, get on with their life. That's what it is. We like to get on with our life with as little hassle as possible, with as much ease as possible. Is that generally true? Yeah? Yes. So that's why we like peace. We don't like war, we like peace. We don't like the idea I have to go out and fight and die, and maybe I won't see my wife again and my family again. This is something frightening. It's something unnerving. Human beings generally, not all of them actually, history of the human being, if you examine the history of the human being, you will think it is not a history of peace, but it is a history of war. In fact, all the human beings seem to be doing most of the time is fighting and killing one another. But when we talk about peace as the absence of war, I think we are missing the point. Because most people, when they say peace, they think peace means no war. Yes? That's what they imagine. Peace means no war. But in my opinion, this is a very, very shallow and small understanding of what is peace. In fact, I don't really believe this is the correct understanding of what is peace at all. And in fact, even the people who talk about peace the most, they don't even believe that. Because as I began by saying, George Bush talks about peace as he's going to war. Yes? Because he's going to war for peace. We can laugh, but actually, as a concept, it's not strange to the human being that we fight for peace, that we have war so we can live in peace. This is not a strange concept for the human being. So therefore, peace does not mean the absence of war. It doesn't mean that. Peace is something we feel inside. Peace is something we feel inside. It's a state of happiness. It's a state of joy. It's a state of calm, tranquility, serenity. We don't feel worried. We don't feel depressed. We don't feel sad. We feel at peace. So true peace is something that is inside the human being. It is not something necessarily outside. So this is in fact the true peace. The true peace is the peace that is inside the human being. And everything else in fact is a type of false peace. Because we witness many societies that claim to be at peace. If you listen and study the propaganda and the brainwashing of the West, one of the things they claim all the time is, look, liberal democracy has brought peace to our nations for 40 years or 50 years or 60 years, since actually the Second World War, the most horrible conflict human beings have ever seen, okay? But let's leave that out, yeah? If you listen to the propaganda of the West, one of the things they say is, look, Germany and France and England and America and Canada and Australia, they are at peace. By that they mean they are not fighting each other. But is this really true? It's true they are not at war. It's true that these countries are not dropping bombs on each other right now anyway. But let's examine something else. Let's look at their societies. Let's look at America. The crime rate, violent crime, rape, alcohol abuse, drug abuse, kids shooting each other in schools, kids knifing each other in the streets, gang warfare. Washington, D.C. is called the murder capital of the world. Of the world. Not of America, of the world. A woman is raped in America. One woman, I think, is raped every 3 minutes in Canada. Or is it 3 women every 1 minute? One or the other. Whichever one it is, it's disgusting. In England, women, they interviewed women and they found that 80% of women did not feel safe to travel on the underground, you know, the public transport system at night. In England, we are afraid to let our children go and play outside because there are pedophiles, because we are hearing about people who are kidnapping children and sexually molesting them and murdering them in the most horrific way. And I want to ask you a question. Can we really say that is peace? No, this is not peace. We find people are depressed. People are depressed. They are taking drugs like Valium, drugs because they are clinically depressed. They are so depressed they need to take drugs to make themselves feel more happy. They drink alcohol and they take ecstasy and so many drugs and intoxicants. Does this sound like people who are at peace? No. In fact, you see, the promise of peace is a very narrow one. It's a very narrow concept, and this in fact is something that we have fallen into the trap of thinking the same thing, and we shouldn't do this. My contention tonight, and what I want to try and show tonight, is that Islam brings peace. True peace. The true peace of the soul, the peace and tranquility that is in the heart and the soul of the individual. And this is the true peace. And in fact, I will say, without this peace, Without this peace of soul, without this peace of mind, without this tranquility inside the human